Year 8, Mr. Davidson here, and I'm going to give you some tips and instructions on how to start your brand new research project, which is also our last project of the year. So first of all, we need to get to the instructions that I've put on Teams. So in case you've forgotten, you need to go to your Teams. I've got loads here, but you'll probably have fewer than this. Scroll down to Year 8 Geography, click on Year 8 Geography, go to the Files section, and then once you're in there, click on Class Materials. Every week I'll put instructions in the Class Materials folder, and then the work for this week will be pinned to the top of the screen. So I'm going to open those instructions and we can have a little look. So this week we're going to start a brand new project, and it's going to be about population and the resources and the impacts that we're having on the planet Earth. So by the end of this project, you're going to be experts on how the world's population is changing, why it's changing, and whether this is either a good, a bad, or neither a good nor bad thing, and it's just the way that we're developing as a population. So let's talk through it, shall we? I'm going to scroll down, and there are 4 tasks for you to complete this week. And because it's a new research project, you need to start a new Word document or a new PowerPoint document. So remember, your projects are always going to be in Word or in PowerPoint, or you can do them on paper and send in pictures at the end if that would be easier for you. So back to our tasks for population this week. You're going to become demographers. A demographer is a scientist who studies population. So let's start with the basics. The first thing I would like you to do this week is to go to this BBC Bitesize page, and we'll take a look at it in a second. And I would like you to answer these 2 questions. So first of all, how many people live on the planet? And also there's going to be a graph. And on that graph, I'd like you to describe how the population of our planet has grown. Has it all happened at once? Has it happened very gradually over time? Has it gone up and down? What are the patterns and trends? So let's have a look at this link, shall we? And we'll see what we need to do. So here is your bite-sized page. There's a little bit of information here that I'd like you to read, and there's also this graph that I would like you to summarize. So remember, the first thing you need to do is to scan through this text and find out how many people live on the planet. And I then want you to look at this graph, and I would like you to think specifically about the shape of this graph. So to read a graph, I need to look at the 2 axes, so I can see this is population going up the side, measured in billions, and it's the time, so it's years along the bottom. And I would like you to look at this graph and explain how has the world's population changed over time. So I can see this gradual change and then this huge spike recently. So you need to put that into words in a paragraph or some bullet points to explain how the population of our planet has changed. So that's your first task, to summarize that page. The next thing you need to do is to go to YouTube and watch a short 4-minute video on why the population has grown so massively in the last 200 years. So you need to follow this link and you need to explain 3 things from this video. Why did population stay the same for so long? Why did the number of people dying go down? And then how did this change in deaths affect global population growth? So on YouTube, the video has got all of these coloured liquids in it. So if you're watching this and it's called 7 billion, you know you're in the right place. It's only 2 minutes actually, not 4 minutes. But while you're watching this video, you might want to watch it once without taking any notes and then go back with a pen or you're typing and take some notes. Why did the population of the planet stay the same for so much of our history? And you can link that back to the graph on the bite-sized page if you want to be fancy. Also, how did the number of people dying change after 1800 and why did that happen? So I'll give you a clue. It went down really dramatically. Why did fewer people die after 1800? And because there are fewer people dying, how did that affect the population of our entire planet? Now, some of you might remember that you did a little bit on this in year 7, so you might already have a jump start on this. And the final thing I would like you to do is go to this link, and you're going to use this link to fill in your own map. So first of all, you need to go to this link, and there is a map showing how many people live in certain parts of the planet. So let's go to that first. In fact, I'm going to get both things up on my screen so you can see. Where am I? That's what I want. So the first thing you need to do is to go to this link, and it will take you to this very wordy page, but you don't need to read this. I just want you to scroll down past this map. We don't want this map. We want to go to this section. Which countries are most densely populated? And there is a map here that we are going to use. So remember, when we talk about population density, we're talking about how many people live in a certain area on the planet's surface. So you will remember from year 7, in London, where lots of people are crammed into a small space, we're really densely populated. But if I went to the countryside, into a small village, you might find there are not very many people in a small space, and that area is sparsely populated. But we're going to use this map of global population density to create our own world map that shows how many people live in different places. So before I show you how to do that, let's just look at how to read this map on this website. So I can see that there are different shades of green in different places, and I presume that that connects to population density. So if it's very, very dark green, like India or Pakistan or China or South Korea, that means it has a very high population density. If it's very light green or yellow or even white, that means it's the opposite. It's very sparsely populated. Not very many people live in a particular part of that country. So, for example, Russia, which is huge, but not very many people live in individual places. Or Canada, where there are very, very big cities, but overall the country is sparsely populated. Because it's a huge country, but all the people are concentrated into cities. So overall, the country is sparsely populated. Now you're going to use this map to create your own map. So I posted you a link to a picture that you can either print off and colour in, or you can colour it in on the computer, and that's what I'm going to do now. So you need to create, and I'm going to open it on the screen for you, you need to create your own map. And I've given you this template that you can use, and I'm going to use Paint, which you should all have on your computers or tablets if you're using them, or you can colour it in using pens and pencils if you would like. So I'm going to click on this bucket icon, which will fill in the different chunks of this map. And what I need to do is I need to condense all of the information on this map into only 3 categories. So high population, medium population, and low population. You did something similar with China last year, but you're going to do the whole world this time round. So I need to think of 3 categories, because here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to condense this down to 3. So maybe I'll do, let's see, I'll do these 2 darkest colours, and they're going to be my high density. I'm going to take these 3 as medium. I'm going to take these 3 as low. So I'm going to pick 3 colours. I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use green for low population density. I'm going to use yellow for medium population density. And I'm going to use red for high population density. So what I need to do, let's make that a little bit bigger. What I need to do is I need to go around and click on all of the countries with the different colours to fill them in. So let's do a couple together to see how that works. So I'm going to start with my high population. And remember, that's these 2 darkest colours on the map. And actually, there aren't very many, because you can mouse over, look, you can put your cursor on it and it will show you. So I can see that parts of India, parts of South Korea, and a couple of parts in Africa have a very high population. So I'm going to click. I can see India, so I need to find India on my map, and I can click on India to fill it in. Now, it won't fill it in completely, so don't worry about being super neat, but you will get an idea and it'll build up a picture. So India, and let's see, South Korea as well. So I can click on that to fill it in. And actually, I'm just going to use a little pen tool to fill that in red. There we go. It's a bit messy, but that's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick yellow for my medium population, and I'm going to have a look at these 3. So there's actually a lot more of the world that is medium population density. So I can see China and parts of East Africa and Europe. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to start clicking to fill in my different parts of medium population density. And if I can't do it with the bucket, and I can go back in and I can use a pen to colour it in. It'll be a bit messy because we're on a computer using a mouse, but that's absolutely fine. And then finally, I'm going to go back once more and I'm going to look at low population density. I can see parts of America and Canada. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill these in with low. And once you've got that, you'll have the whole world coloured in to show you where people live. And then there's one final thing you need to do this week, as always, is to finish the weekly quiz, which will be posted to Teams on Wednesday. So those are your instructions. Remember, if you have any questions at all, please ask your teacher. Send us an email, put a question on Teams, or watch this video again to see if it helps explain to you. I really look forward to seeing your projects at the end of this term. So remember, any questions, ask us. Good luck this week.